You ever wonder if there's a state of mind that's, well, completely beyond our everyday reality? A kind of consciousness that isn't just about perceiving the world, but actually goes beyond it? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. We're exploring an idea known as the supramundane mind.
Now, the ancient Pali texts have a fantastic word for this, Lokuttara. It's actually two words smashed together, Loka, which means world, and Uttara, meaning beyond or above. So yeah, we're literally talking about consciousness that is beyond the world.
Okay, so right away, that begs a huge question, right? What world are we even talking about here? We're not talking about the planet Earth. No, the meaning is way more personal, and honestly, much more profound.
See, the world in this context is our own inner, subjective reality. It's the whole show. It's everything that makes up our moment-to-moment experience. Our body, our feelings, how we perceive things, our thoughts and impulses, and even just basic consciousness itself. That's the world that can be transcended.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what makes this state of mind so incredibly unique.
So there are three really key things to get. First, this isn't a place you can go to. It's not some other dimension or heaven, it's a state of being. Second, and this is the big one, it is completely 100% free from craving. And third, it's basically in a league of its own. Along with Nibbana, or ultimate freedom, it makes up what's known as the 9 supramundane realities.
Okay, so how does this consciousness actually work? It's not just one static thing. It operates in this really cool dynamic way, a duality called the path and the fruit.
Think of it like this. The path is the action. It's this powerful, decisive moment of cutting away our inner junk, our defilements. And the fruit? That's the immediate result. It's the deep, profound peace that floods in right after that action. One is the lightning strike, the other is the clear sky that follows.
Now let's put the official names to these ideas. The path consciousness, or Citta, is what's called wholesome. Its only job is to get in there and eradicate defilements at the root. Its partner, the fruition consciousness, or Citta, is a resultant state. Its function is simply to experience the peace that the path just uncovered.
And here's the crucial difference. The path consciousness, that lightning strike, it happens just once for each major breakthrough. It's a singular event that changes you forever. But the fruition consciousness, that peaceful state, it comes right after, and it's a state you can return to and experience again and again.
So this whole path and fruit dynamic isn't just a one-and-done deal for the entire journey. It actually plays out step by step across 4 distinct and irreversible stages of awakening.
You can see the progression here. It starts with stream entry, then once returner, then non-returner, and it all culminates in arhatship. And for every single one of these stages, there's a unique path consciousness that does the heavy lifting and a corresponding fruition consciousness that enjoys the result. It's like climbing a ladder you can't fall down from.
Now, this structure seems pretty clear, right? But this is where things get really interesting. Because when we start counting these states of mind, there's the simple way and then there's the much more detailed way.
So, in the brief method, the math is super simple. You've got 4 stages of awakening, and each one has a path and a fruit. 4 times 2, that gives us 8 fundamental supramundane states of consciousness. Easy enough.
But hold on, because that is just scratching the surface. The detailed analysis shows a picture that is so much richer, so much more complex. Those 8 are just the beginning.
In the detailed method, the number blows up. It expands 5-fold, from just 8 states all the way to 40. Yeah, 40! That's a huge leap, isn't it?
So the obvious question is, how in the world do we get from a simple 8 all the way up to 40? Where are those other 32 states hiding?
And the answer, the secret ingredient, is deep meditative concentration. You see, each of those 8 fundamental states, the 4 paths and 4 fruits, can be achieved while on one of 5 different levels of deep meditative absorption, which are called the jhanas. So you take your 8 states, multiply them by 5 levels of meditation, and boom, you get 40.
And as you can see here, it's a perfectly symmetrical expansion. The original 4 path states become 20, and the 4 fruition states also become 20. The core path and fruit dynamic is still there, just with a much, much greater level of detail.
All right, for our final section, let's pop the hood, Let's look at the actual mental DNA that makes up every single one of these 40 states. What's going on inside?
So there are a few things that are always there, no matter which of the 40 states we're talking about. The object of awareness is always nibbana and nothing else. The mental roots are always pure, no greed, no hatred, no delusion. And ethical conduct like right speech and right action are just baked right in. But look at what's absent: compassion and sympathetic joy. Now, this might sound strange, but there's a fascinating reason. Compassion is directed toward beings. The singular object of this consciousness is the unconditioned. It's nibbana itself. So what do these states actually feel like? Well, this chart paints a pretty clear picture. The vast majority of them, 32 out of the 40, are filled with a sense of joy or glad-mindedness. But the final 8 states, the ones associated with the absolute highest level of meditative focus, are marked by this profound, unshakable equanimity. And this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that duality we've been talking about. You have the consciousness which transcends the world, that's the path, the active moment, and then you have the consciousness which has transcended the world, that's the fruit, the resulting state of peace. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. If the mind's absolute highest potential, its ultimate goal, is to realize a state of being, and not to get a thing or acquire some object, what does that tell us about the real nature of peace and where we might actually find it?